Hello there, it's Epic April here. April Franks, Master Business Coach of Coach Speak and Serve and the administrator of the community on Facebook, Coach Speak and Write for Profits. And I'm really excited to be with you today because I'm going to be teaching you how you can generate 10K in 30 days by creating and learning how to monetize your signature coaching program. So the reason why I decided to do this is because actually 3 years ago, I did a training similar to this and it was wildly popular on YouTube. There's over 20,000 views to it. And so I decided to bring it up to speed to 2018 or whenever it is that you're watching this beyond that and give you some really deep and actionable tools and things that you need in order to create your program down to all of the nitty gritties and how you can generate 10K within 30 days. So just so you know, just in case if you're new to me, I'm not going to spend a lot of time going through a lot of fluff. We have a lot of content. This is not one of those, I'm going to give you a little bit of information. No, this is one of those trainings and intensives where you need to stop and go get your notebook, go get some water, put the kids aside, turn your ringer off on your phone, close down all the other windows, and this is the time for you to really dedicate to really grilling this out. So what I want you to do in your notebook, in your own personal notebook, your scratch paper, whatever it is, I want you to make sure that you title it My Signature Program. And at the top of that, you write 10K in 30 days, right? And then of course, put Epic April somewhere. I have my phones here in case I need to pull out the calculator because I really want us to dive deep. And so I'm going to be sharing my screen and going back and forth a little bit in order to provide you with what it is that you're needing, because people are really having a hard time making money in the coaching, speaking, online space. And I'm here to demystify some things for you. So why don't we jump to it and get started? So let me share my screen. Okay, so for those of you who are new to me, again, my name is April Franks, affectionately called Epic April, and I run a training and development company in Oklahoma. We work with clients all over the world from California to Europe, and we have a really great time doing that. We help purpose-driven entrepreneurs do three things well. Number one, we help them gain clarity around their brand. Number two, we help people really identify how they can build their audience online and build up an audience online, right? Which is kind of creating your own tribe, creating your own groove. And then we help people monetize. So today, that's what I'm going to be helping you do. Now, as you can see, I want you to be very clear on who this specific training intensive is for. And again, this is totally free, and I'm excited to be giving you this content because it's definitely something that when I started, how many years ago? Man, it's been, wow, since like 2013-ish, 2011, 13, in that time frame. So for coaches, authors, mentors, consultants, socialpreneurs, bloggers, if you consider yourself someone who is really leveraging the online space and you want to create digital products by way of a signature program, then this is the absolute intensive for you. So who am I? I am the full-time CEO and serial entrepreneur. I've been a full-time entrepreneur since 2008. It's been 10 years at the time of this training, and I can't even believe it. Like I could not imagine doing anything else with my life. I have a really great time doing what I do, and I get to be myself and do it. I launched my first brand, Women Recharge, in 2013. I developed Coach Speak and Serve in 2015. I produce live events. There are several here that I produce, Confessions Live, Fabulous New You, the Epic Conference, Spark and Hustle. I also have produced my own films. First film was on Kickstarter that we did, was a personal story. And then the second one was all about entrepreneurship, and it was called Driven. And I can share a little bit more about that later. Additionally, we've had some really great successes online. We've generated well over now $1.5 million from primarily online, primarily our Facebook group. And so I'm really excited to share this information with you because I am just like many of you. Right. And I had many of those challenges. And now that I've been doing this for several years, even, with my real estate background, it's been a journey to be able to, have an office, have staff, have people, have a team, and be able to hit these mile markers authentically and be transparent with how challenging things can become sometimes. And so I'm here to really help you demystify that. Some of the things that you may have seen me in is Good Housekeeping. Again, I've written several books. I'm on book 6 now. We produced the film Unbroken Resilience. That was a Kickstarter campaign that was really funded by our community. And so I'm really grateful that we have such a dedicated audience, and we built really a family of people that want to support us because they're doing well and they have the ability to do so. Also, this was actually my 40th birthday. There I was on television talking about the film at that time. Driven Success is an anthology that I spearheaded, and we then decided we wanted to do a documentary to go alongside it. And so we did, to talk about entrepreneurship and the struggles and the wins and how you can move past just writing your book or just speaking on stage, but you can actually create some passive residual revenue for yourself. Right? You don't just have to have written a book. We have tons of books and lots of people are authors, and tons of them probably, and you're probably one of them, but it doesn't have to stop there. You can really create some really amazing things, and I'm really excited to break this down for you. I was also the co-host of a talk show for about 42 weeks, and that was really fun as well. And so I got to do a lot of things, and I got to see and talk to a lot of individuals who were overwhelmed, who were confused with everything that was happening online, who really wanted to make money, but they didn't have a sales process, or they didn't understand how to sell. They didn't have a system. They didn't know what points to hit in order to help people make a decision, in order to give them what they needed, and so that they could make a decision whether they were going to buy from you or not, right? So I want us to know right now, we're about to get comfortable with each other. I'm going to let my hair down as much as I can. I have my Gatorade here, my microphone, something I can scribble on in case something comes to me as I'm teaching. But I understand what it's like to second guess yourself, to know that you're great at a specific thing, but this whole online, how do I do this thing, is like a huge mystery, right? There's fragments and pieces and free opt-ins all over the place. And while this is a free opt-in, this is an intensive training. This should have been worth probably $500, but it's not. And I'm excited to be giving it away because I think it's valuable information. And the reason why it came up is because people were still watching that video and still commenting on the training I did over 3 years ago now. So I think it's important that you get access to full information and that I help you on the right track to show you where to begin. So what you're going to learn today, and again, you can feel free to take a picture of this slide because this is going to guide you. I'm going to be guiding you through these 6 elements here. We're going to go through your brand clarity. We're going to talk about your avatar. We're going to talk about the process of creating your signature program. We're going to talk about the logistics of creating that program, and we're going to talk about pricing. Everybody is like, oh my God, how much do I charge? Well, I'm going to tell you. So, and then I'm really excited because a lot of people don't know how to sell, right? You get to a certain point, whether you're in person or online, and it's like you get stuck and you don't know what to say. And it's like you give away all this free content and then you're like, and buy my product, right? And it's like a blip on the screen. And so I'm excited to share with you my 13-point core offer on how you can make your own 13-point core offer to pitch your products and services so that your audience can decide if they want to buy or not. So let's get started. Number 1, again, feel free to take pictures of these slides. Feel free to take notes and write this down. I highly recommend that you schedule to retake this training as well. So I'm going to teach you everything I need to know in this moment. In the time that we have, hopefully I'll wrap this up in about 45 minutes to an hour. I'm going to do my best. We'll see. So I have my little nifty timer here. So the very first thing that I really enjoy talking about and have as someone who owned a real estate company, someone whose job it was to travel around the country and help real estate development teams bring up properties that were dilapidated, that were not cash flowing, that had bad reputations potentially, or they just had a very high vacancy loss. So they were losing money on a daily basis. That's the world that I came from. And so my job has always been to make sure that we're clear on what we're doing, who we're talking to, what we're saying to who we're talking to. So to bring that experience into this development space is really been a huge benefit to our clients. So number one, brand clarity. You must be clear before you can get on your path to profits. So there's several elements. There's several elements I want to cover here that get you on the road to clarity so that you are clear, because a lot of times people want to create things and you're creating them on top of quicksand, right? It's like, it doesn't make any sense. You want to do it, you're passionate, but what you're trying to do isn't working because there is a little bit of fuzziness. So let's just demystify a few things. Number one, target audience or market. So first of all, there's a distinction there, right? So let's talk about the fact that you need to be clear. Your audience is who is paying attention. The market is who's buying, right? So who's paying attention? So if you use that example like baby food, right? The market for baby food really is babies. The audience for baby food is mamas, right? Babies can't buy baby food, right? So just know who your target audience is. And sometimes, and most of the time, for many of you and for us, it's the same. Your target audience is the same, and your avatar is kind of extracted from that audience, and you start to build out that person. And we'll talk about avatar in step 2, but for now, just know that you understanding your target audience. And once we break down, I'm going to give you my A20 in step 2. So my A20 is going to help you break down your target audience. I just want you to know in this brand clarity piece that it's imperative that you are clear on your audience more so than you are clear on what you do. Right? As you can see, the number 2 thing here is how exactly you help others. See, a lot of people know how they help others, but they don't know exactly who they're helping. They know what they know how to do, but then they're like, but I'm not exactly sure. Is it women? Is it men? Are they of a certain age? Are they of a certain race? Does that matter? How much money? So understanding the target audience element is really imperative. And you want to ask yourself, who is it that you are serving, right? And that number 1. So in brand clarity, this part 1 under target audience, who is it? And you don't have to have all the answers. You can just say, I want to help children. I want to help moms. I want to help families. I want to help veterans. I want to help educators. I want to help athletes. And just be general for now. And we'll dive deeper here in a second. The second thing here is how exactly you help. It's really more important to know how you help people than it is to have a fancy tagline or moniker, right? So how do you help? Why should someone be paying you? If you can't answer the question, and I can't tell you how many times I ask people, how do you help? Why should I hire you? And they're like, they're stuck. They're stuck. And some of you may be stuck. But you got to really pin in and zero in on how exactly are you helping someone, right? It's like I have a makeup brush. It's not a very fancy one. It's on my desk. I've had it for like 9 years. It's probably against the makeup gods. And this makeup brush, when they created it, it had a purpose, right? And I have some nifty little, MAC blush here. And the purpose of this makeup brush is for this specific brush is to apply blush. So how this is helping me is to have smoother application, right? There has to be a purpose. And you see, this is very distinct. There's no ambiguity with what this is for. Here's some chapstick here. It's the Chapstick Total Hydration Rose Petal Moisture Intent. It was a very intentional thing. It's not regular chapstick, right? You can go and buy regular chapstick, but they said, there's a demographic of people that need lip care, but they also want a tint, which is primarily women, right? They want a tint. They want to feel like they have lip gloss, but they still want the elements of having the lip care. So they call it Chapstick Total Hydration. Again, exactly how do you help, right? So write that down, exactly. And so on your notes, you want to write down, I help whoever you identified in that first element. See how we're stacking? I help blank do X, accomplish X. The third part on here is the demographics, and I misspelled psycho. That's supposed to say psychographics. So look at there. You can even teach people and make a mistake at the same time. So demographics and the psychographics really speaks to all of the things that make up your target audience, your avatar, right? So it's the age, it's the sex, it's the location, it's the, their interest. It's all of those things that make that up. And I think people aren't brand clear because they just think that I have this lip chapstick and everyone should want it without really identifying who really wants it. Is this for a busy woman on the go? Like, who is this for? There's a certain demographic for that. And so you have to be clear on what that is. Where are they shopping? And again, in step 2, and knowing your avatar, we're going to break down my A20 formula, and you'll see how you'll start to really chart that out. But for now, I just want you to be clear. The fourth thing is research. I think people are a little afraid of doing some research. Like, you have to be willing to Google search. You have to be willing to do some things in order to really identify and see what is happening. Even on Facebook, if you search in the search bar on Facebook, you can find out tons of things about people. You can ask questions of the people that are connected to you already personally and or professionally online. I think one of the things that benefits us, and we have over 17,000 entrepreneurs in our Facebook group, Coach, Speak, and Write for Profits, which I hope you'll join, and make sure you answer the questions or we can't let you in. So, but when we want to know things, we ask. And before I had that group, when there was only 0 people, and then when there was only 23 people for like 2 years, then I would ask the people on my personal page, hey, I'm doing this. What do you guys think about that? What's your opinion on this? Do you know where I can find that? Like, you have to really think of yourself, because you are becoming a business person. And so business people, they know things about who they're serving, what they're doing. Don't you think that as rich as Coca-Cola is, that they could stop advertising, stop creating new products? If one of the most popular and well-known household name brands still feels the need to sponsor things and innovate and rebrand and be on social media, why don't you think you have to, right? So do some research and don't be afraid of it. The next thing is a brand message, right? At the end of the day, what are you promising you can do for that very first person in the way that you help them with what you know about them and what you've learned about them? You see how all that just went together? What is it that you're promising? See, for us, we help, and here it is, purpose-driven coaches, speakers, authors, bloggers, and consultants do 3 things. Remember, I said this in the beginning. It was less than 20 seconds. Gain brand clarity. Where are we starting with brand clarity? Establish an online presence and make money. That's what we help people do. So you want to be able to say that in a succinct couple of sentences. If someone asks you at a networking event, you don't want to say, oh, well, I'm a coach, speaker, and an author. Womp, womp. You want to be able to say, hi, my name is Epic April, and I own a training and development company and called Coach, Speak, and Serve. And we help purpose-driven entrepreneurs, for short, do 3 things well: establish their brand presence, grow their tribes, and make more money. You see how I can even flip that and change it a little bit? All still the same 3 elements of what we help people do. You got that? Number 2, know your avatar. Your signature program is not about you. I know it's hard because you're putting so much into it, and it may be even sitting on your computer halfway done, or you may have started some things, but you really want to get up close and personal with your avatar. So how do we do that? There's several ways, and I'm about to run into those through the A20, and I'm really excited about it because I don't think people think all the way through the nitty gritty with their audience. And I wrote this quote as I was building this slide, and I was just thinking about how people are trying to attract people. And here's what I want you to know, and quote me everywhere on social media at Epic April. Your target audience needs to want to buy from you more than you want to sell to them. So your desire to make money and be all excited, that's great. But they need to want to buy. They need to be there, right? You need to be in front of them. You want to make sure that you have created, right, an environment where they can learn and they want it, because they know that by purchasing from you, by following you, by activating whatever it is that you're sharing on how to do X, Y, or Z and whatever niche you're in, they know that they're going to get what they need when they say yes. So the 820, and what does it look like? I want you right now on your notes to write my 820, and then in parentheses put my avatar. Before I even go through the 820, I want you to name your avatar. So for example, in our business, our avatar name is Sarah. So we all know everything we do is for her. Okay, this chick got it going on, right? She has a whole team. She has people that love and care about her. She has people that obsess about her daily, right? Because she is our avatar. She is the reason we exist. She is you. See, if you didn't have any of those challenges and overwhelms and this crazy spool of content and information running in your head, you wouldn't need me. Just like if I could just put this on without this, I wouldn't need this, right? I wouldn't need any of it. So the 820 are 20 elements that I want you to number on your paper. And I want you to make sure that you know these things and that you think about them for your avatar. So you've already named your avatar. Now, if your avatar is a female and you know you're serving women, name it a female name. If your avatar is a male, name it a male name. If your avatar doesn't matter if it's male or female, then give it a unisex name. There's plenty of them. Have fun with it. You can Google unisex names and have a lot of fun with identifying this individual. Why? This will help you pinpoint so deeply when you're speaking, when you're delivering content, because in your mind, you're only serving and providing information and help and services to that one individual instead of everyone, because then everyone becomes that one person because you're building it for them. So in your 820, there's 20 elements. There's about 10 or so core elements, and then there's other things that you'll think about as they arise based on your niche that you want to be aware of. Number one, age range. What's the age range of the individual? Number two, sex. Like I said, male or female or both. Race. Do they have a race? For some people, they target a specific, you may target Latinos, or you may target Asians, or you may target African Americans, or it may not matter for your specific brand. So for example, if I was a natural hair distributor, I may be targeting African American women. So that would be a part of my avatar, right? For this product doesn't matter, but we know it's probably for women or people that use makeup, right? Because there's plenty of male makeup artists as well. And there's men that wear makeup too. The fourth thing is income level. Now you may be thinking, and you may say, oh my gosh, I don't know how much they make. That's okay. That's okay. Where you want to start with this is just guesstimate, put a question mark and keep it moving. The biggest element here is that you know that you need to know these elements. And through your research, remember, go back to number one, brand clarity. Through your research, you are conscious that you need to know that information. You're conscious that you need to know. So we'll get back to that. Number five, familiar status. Are they married? I doubled that up. Sorry. So are they married? What is, what's going on with the household? Do they have children? Right? Are they single? Are they divorced? Does that matter? Are they widowed? For some of you, let's say you're supporting widows. You may be. And if you are, that's a part of your avatar's makeup. Number seven, where does this person shop? Where do they shop? Think about that. You could even break that down further. And you can say, where do they shop offline? And do they shop online? If they do shop online, are they Amazon shoppers? Do they listen to audiobooks? Like, break this all the way down. You are basically, I don't know if you remember, and I'm showing my age. But Weird Science, like I feel like it was in the 80s. And Weird Science, you know, they built a woman. You're really kind of building a person. And what's great is this person already really exists. Like this person is somewhere in America or around the world, right? This person exists because you are creating something to support them in something that they need. What do they drive, right? Does this person drive a luxury vehicle? Does this person drive a sedan? Are you helping single moms? Does she have a minivan or a four-door, you know, I don't know, Honda, Camry, you know, is this something for gentlemen over a certain age? Are they driving sports cars? What is it that they probably are driving? And let's give you an example of this. Let's say you serve college students. More than likely, if you're serving college students or community students that attend community college are not driving Mercedes and Benzos, right? So that's how deep you want to go into this and why. Why do you want to go this deep? Because you need to know who you're expecting to pay you. You want to know who you're expecting to pay you. You want to be clear on who exactly you are making an impact for. Because if you don't know exactly who that is, you should know them on site. If you're at a live event or something to that effect, at a networking event, you should know your avatar when they, about a minute in, you should know, yep, this is Sarah, or this is John, this is Michael, you know, this is Lisa. You should know. Also, do they go on vacation? What's their finances look like? And then 10 through 20, you just want to make up other interests related to their makeup, right? So, you know, for example, if they do vacation, you can even break it further. Are they a Fiji traveler or are they a cruiser? Wouldn't you agree that those are two different individuals? Absolutely. So you really get into the psychographics of that person. Does this person still read the newspaper? Or are they only online? Right? I went to Walgreens to take some new passport photos because my passport is expired. And the guy said, do you want to get something emailed to you? And I was like, no, I want the printed copy. He was like, we were talking about magazines because I bought a ton of magazines. I actually still have them somewhere. And I said, no, I really like to flip the pages. And he was like, see, I don't like that at all. Excuse me, isn't that an amazing distinction? He's like, I don't like that at all. And in my mind, I'm like, and I hate that. I'm like, I have to have the page. I want to fill the paper. I want to put a sticky note, you know, so know your avatar. This is so important because when you do, then everything you do becomes about, you become obsessed with this individual. Another pointer that I want to give to you right now is you could even get a poster board, draw a head on it, put their name on it, put these things on it, post it up in your office or wherever it is that you're doing your work. So you keep top of mind your A20s for your avatar. And you could even go over A20. You can have more than 20, but 20 is a good number to get you to thinking about who is this person, okay? Number 3, the process. What is the process? So the process of creating your signature program. So remember, this is about you creating 10K in 30 days, creating and monetizing. But before you can create, you have to be clear on who you're creating it for, because you're not creating your signature program for you. You're creating it for a totally different set of human beings, thousands of them, hopefully millions of them, to purchase your product. So what's the process? And this is where I want you to get crystal clear on the results of your program. So I want you to be clear, right? As you're thinking about what could I create for my avatar, fill in the name blank there, right? Fill in the blank with their name. So I have here, by working with you, your avatar is able to accomplish what? To do what? To be what? To have what? Think about that for a moment. And I do want you to write that down. Make sure you take a picture of that slide and answer those questions. What will they accomplish by working with you through this program that you're going to create, that we're going to fabricate today, right? Because I'm going to take you through the process. What is it that they're going to accomplish? What will they be able to do? Who will they be? And what will they have? You have to get serious about it because you're asking people to spend their hard-earned money with you to make an investment of whatever it is. $10,000, 5,000, 200, 1,000. So let's look at the process of actually creating the program, okay? So I kind of want to bring my screen in a little bit. So let me just do that. Okay. All right. So when we think about what is the roadmap, I want you to, in regards to the process, I want you to ask yourself, what is the roadmap that you are promising? Where is it that you're actually attempting to take your avatar? Where is it that you want them to go? So for example, let's say, again, let's use this example. If the roadmap is to take a person from chapped lips to never chapped lips and tinted again, how are we going to get them there? If your mission is to take people from transforming and overcoming past hurts or learning how to speak, or if you want to teach them how to tutor, or if you want to teach them how to build websites, or if you want to teach them how to empower others, what is the roadmap, right? And number two, how are you helping them do what you are promising? Because like when you think about the process of creation, how are you helping them do what you are promising? How are you helping them do what you're promising? And one of the things, and those two are really leader questions, it all leads to number three, which is most of the time for many people, and maybe this is for you, most of what you're helping people overcome are things that you have personal connections to. So either you've experienced it, you've seen someone you love experienced it, you've seen it in the workplace, or you're passionate about it because you've seen it someplace else. So are you documenting the process? And that's how you answer the questions. How are you going to help them? Because now it's like, what is the process? So there is the process of you. So let me break this down. So for example, let's go with the example that you're going to help. Let's go with my example. I'm going to help entrepreneurs gain brand clarity, right? We started with brand clarity. We went through several elements. How am I helping you do that? Well, through products and services. Well, through what products and services? Well, let's break this thing down all the way, right? What types of products and services? And let's say brand clarity specifically. Okay, well, how do I document the process? Well, the first thing you want to do is you got to know who you're talking to. That was the very first slide. Do y'all want me to scroll back? Very first slide, right? We're on 16 right here. Me and this Mac, we're trying to get it together. We're trying. So right here. So this is where we were, documenting the process. Again, and then I said, how do we help? We help you through providing specific trainings, opportunities like this to learn. Okay, so document your process. If you say that you help people overcome their fears, what's the first step of overcoming fears? So what was your process that you're close to, whether it was you personally or what you saw or witnessed? What was that process like? Excuse me, right? What was that process? So you want to ask yourself that. And then you want to, in number 4, you want to ask yourself, what is the process for the client to experience? Meaning, sometimes when you say, okay, I'm going to get a piece of paper because now I'm getting heated here. I love this little mug my clients made for me. It says, spark your hustle to the core and embrace your womanly-ish. It's like all of my brands put together. So you take this and we're going to say you are teaching people to be fearless. I think that was the example, right? So it's like, how do you become fearless? You may think, well, what's the first step of becoming fearless? You may say, maybe I need to acknowledge X, Y, or Z. Maybe I need to ask myself, whatever it is, right? So you start to document the process. Now in number 4, it says, what's the process for the client to experience? This is where you enhance the process. So now this is where you may have done a little bit of research and said, okay, These are some things I can add to make this even better. I hadn't even considered that. So then you add on to it. So even if, this comes from something you were passionate about, you get the opportunity now to plug in and to give people exactly what they need by giving more information on how they can get to fearlessness. So not only do you have your first frame of your process, now you're like, okay, how can I enhance this? How can this be even better? I'm already providing value, but how can I make this even better for you? And that's what you want to say to your avatar, to your market. Number 5 is you want to create an outline for that process and then turn them into steps. So now, when you say, for example, being fearless, some of you may, if this was your brand, you could say, because I heard a woman say, she said, I just start praying. So how do you turn I just start praying into a process? Because you can't just tell people, girl, just start praying. That's not going to work and expect them to pay you. So that may be something along the lines of, for example, revisiting your spiritual walk, reassessing your X, Y, or Z, reconnecting with the divinity within you, whatever it is that you want to say. You turn that, and now that you frame that differently, now it's like, oh, well, how do I help them do that? And that's where a little bit of research comes in, and some of your common sense and your experience, right? And your education potentially comes into answering that. And that's how you begin to build out an amazing program, right? So now you understand the process of creation. It's like, okay, how am I helping? These are the things. And let me give you this at the top of this page, notes, the process, just write down up to 6. Let's just say that your signature program is only going to be, for now, in this example, up to 6 lessons, modules, weeks, months, whatever it is. And we'll get to logistics in a second. But for now, we're just going to stick with 6. So let's say you had to come up with 6 things. So you say you help people in what way? Well, what are the 6 things, the 6 ways for them to get there? What are the 6 ways for you and your avatar to get to fearlessness? What are the ways? And that's what you want to think about. And that's what you want to iron out. And what's beautiful about that is once you start to do that, right? And I'm just going to put way number 3. So way number 3, right? Now under way number 3, it's the how. Because now way number 3 has bullet points. Very similar to what we're doing here. Pay attention. And this is not a signature coaching program. This just happens to be intensive training. But you understand there was a bullet points of this is what I'm going to teach you. And now we're breaking it down even further into some granular pieces that you can actually implement. So again, you should be able to walk away from this slide, from the last 10, 12 minutes, knowing what you need to go and do, which is understand who you're talking to, how you're helping, and then identifying the process in a maximum of 6 ways. And you can flip those ways into whatever word you want to: methods, weeks, modules, trainings, whatever. How helpful is this, right? And demystifying how you can start to create this program. And then let's say, and I'll give you another element, and like I just did, just to elaborate a little bit. Then we go into, okay, we can do this. And now there's 3 elements. Look at this. I have the process on this page, and then there's 5 elements within it. And even within them, as I'm explaining them, I'm sharing more information with you. Your program can be very similar to that, only it would be longer. Yes? Yes. Let's move on. The logistics. Dun, 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 dun. This is where everybody gets all, whoo, it's too much technology for the most part. Some of you all are whips. But the logistics, it hangs a lot of people up. And you know why? It's because there is a new daggone thing every damn day. A new program, a new system, a new something to click, a new something to learn, something bombed, and now we don't use that anymore. I mean, so it's very common to be overwhelmed with logistics. So let's talk about what the back end will look like of your program. Now that you know who you're talking to, know how you're helping, know what your message is, know what your process is, now it's like, how do we want to do this actually? So let's look at that. the logistics, and I really love this stuff right here. So listen, duration, the first thing you want to be thinking about is, what is the duration of the program? So one of my clients, for example, Marnice, we call her Coach Mo. So have fun and look her up. She's super fantastic. She developed an amazing program called From Chaos to Clarity for real estate professionals to help them go from chaos to clarity in their, insurance professionals in their industry, right? So she has an insurance background, and she wanted them to know how they can not be all over the place, right? And really start to streamline, because when you start to do that, then they start to make money. So she decided a duration of her program. How long do you want it to be? And now keep this in mind, and this is very important. So listen in. You don't want it to be too daggone long. Okay? People need fast wins, just like this. This intensive is 45 minutes, an hour. Hopefully I don't go too far over that or so. But you want the information right now, that's something you can do, win, implement, get a result, and it keeps the person motivated to do more with you. Because if you're helping them win, why not? Right? You don't stop going to the trainer that's helping you get the six-pack. You keep going, right? You don't stop going to the cook that's cooking the good stuff. It's like, no, this is great. So duration, how long do you want it to be? I recommend on signature coaching programs, 6, 8, 10 weeks is really long. 6 is a nice sweet spot. People can do something for 6 weeks. And quite frankly, it takes about 4 or 6 weeks for people to get into a groove and to build that camaraderie that you want your group. Remember, it's a signature group coaching program, typically, right? Not to say that people can't buy it and do it on their own, but ideally you do want them to commune somewhere. We'll talk about that in a minute. Number 2, frequency of content. How often are they getting the content? So we have a monthly membership. It's called Core. And in our membership, we deliver content every single week. So once a week, we have content. If there's a 5th week of the month, we don't have any. So that's typically how it runs. So every single week, there's new content. So you have to decide, what is the frequency of your content? Now, let's say that your signature program is 21 days. Depending on what you do, I'm not saying that couldn't be it. It just has to make sense for the avatar and how you help them. And can they achieve their desired result in that time frame, realistically? And if they can, then you're gold. You're golden. And don't be afraid to, and a lot of people are just afraid to try, right? It's like, oh my God, I'm going to fail. What if? This is what business is about. You can't be all afraid. It's like you got to, oh Lord, I was going to say piss or get off the pot. And I guess I just did. That's what my daddy would say. God rest his soul. It's like you just got to do it. So just put it out there. Frequency. Keep it short. I don't recommend. Let me say this. Some group coaching programs, like if you had a 6-month program that was high touch, high connectivity, then you could do something for 6 months. I have a mastermind. Now, mastermind is not a group coaching program, but it is a significant offering within our business. And it is 12 months. And there is a lot of touching going on, right? So just keep that in mind. Number 3, what method will you teach? So are you going to do audio? Do you want video? Right? Are you going to do PowerPoint with voice and video? You decide. Now, someone may be saying, but April, which one's better? There's no such thing. What works for the avatar? What do they want? What do they want? And whatever they want, do that. If you're not sure, you can always go with video. You can always start with audio, but start somewhere and don't overcomplicate it. You don't have to research that to death. How does your avatar consume information? Again, research, just ask people. Hey, if you guys were going to buy this, would you want to hear it or see it or both? A, B, or C? Thanks for your help, right? That's it. Number 4, where will it be housed? Now I want you to write this down on parentheses on the side somewhere. When I say house, I mean where, once you do the method, so whether it's the audio, video, PDF, PowerPoint, whatever, where is it going to be sitting? So is it going to be in Kajabi or Jigsaw, Thinkific Teachable, Optimize Press, any of those platforms that are plug and play learning systems that you can put your information in, people can log in and get access to? Or is it going to be an email drip? Are you going to simply drip it out over an email? We've done both and do both, but our core membership is inside of a Kajabi portal, and that information sits in there and people can log in. Some things we do is dripped out over email. There's no fretting here. If you're just getting started, just pick one. Don't try to get the big daddy of everything when you're just getting started. If you're somewhere in the middle, then pick one, right? And ideally, if you can go big and not be confused, if going bigger makes you stall, then perfect where you are right now. A lot of times people are like, oh, but I need Entreport, I need Infusionsoft, I need this. And then you get stuck and then you're behind, don't do nothing for months. And it's like, you still haven't launched that program. You created it, it's sitting somewhere, but there's no launching. And wait, don't even hang this thing up, because I'm going to get to these 13 selling points that every single pitch you do on stage and off the stage, you should absolutely be doing and incorporating in your presentation. Now, how will it be delivered, right? And that kind of goes a little bit into how it's going to be housed. So depending on how it's housed may depend on how it's delivered. So we deliver ours, like I said, weekly, and we utilize a Zoom platform, and we also utilize Kajabi. So there's some, some intermingling there a little bit. Number 6 is you want to decide, is it a start stop or a rolling enrollment? Start stop means it has a start and a stop date, and rolling means you can join anytime. So I've had programs where we had start stops, and then I also have, like our membership, it is a rolling enrollment. Okay. Number 7. Ooh, this is a good one. How much access to you or your team will this include? How much access are you going to give? So, and when we get the pricing, then this is going to help you out. So the rule of thumb is the higher level of the investment, the closer access they get to you. And for example, when you opt into when someone opts in to your freebie, lead magnet, reports, audio, they don't just get to call you on the phone, right? Unless it's set up that way, unless you have appointment settings set up. But in general, they just get it. You just get the freebie and you move on. There's no, you can just call and sit on the phone and talk to the person or go out and see them, So you decide how much access. And if the program needs the access, whether that's a once a month call or none, it could just be that all the content is delivered within the program. So just decide, and you may be saying, but which one is right? Try it and see. Pick what feels good, that rounds the program out, but don't try to do all of everything and overwhelm people, because in some of these programs, you can give away too much and people they need time to implement your process. Remember? So go back to your process. Remember how it took you time to overcome your process, or for you to create the process, and the reality of what they actually have to do. It would be like you going from being 50 pounds overweight and expecting to have a 6-pack in 3 weeks. It's like, okay, this isn't happening. Like in 3 weeks, I will not have a 6-pack, because it's a process. There's some things I got to do, right? Where are we? Number 8, is it going to be live or recorded? So some of your signature group coachings may be live, and some of them may be recorded. You can decide. And then you can also decide, so if it is live, you can decide where it then will be housed. You can even do it live for the first one and then package that as the signature program. So now it's a digital product. So you can decide. There is no right or wrong. It's what works best for who? Say it. The avatar. The avatar. It's all about the avatar, honey. Never about you. Doesn't that kind of suck? Yeah. It's It's kind of like being a parent sometimes, right? It's like, wow, I'm doing all these things and y'all don't care. No, but seriously, it really is about the avatar, because you're not buying your products and services. Number 5, the pricing. The pricing, I really love price, and I love talking about money. And I'm excited to talk about just some real simplistic breakdowns on pricing. So let's just get there. There's a couple things I want to bring to your attention. Number 1 is competition-based pricing. What that means simply is, and I learned about this through ICF, and what that means basically is that your competition-based pricing is based on what your competitors are doing for similar things, right? And you're coming somewhere, in the ballpark, kind of like, I equate it to comparables. If you're in a neighborhood and you've got a house and the comparables, because that's what people pull when you buy a house, they pull what we call comps, or when I was a real estate agent, but what we call comps. And they're like, okay, the houses in this area are $184,000 or whatever. So your house, why is your house, $417,000? And this house, the comps in this area are 184. So competition based. And then there's number 2, customer value based, meaning what is the perceived value that your audience perceives? What are, what are they willing to invest? And you may say, I don't know. And if you're saying you don't know, do a little research. It doesn't really take much. We're talking 45 minutes of your time to identify something that's really important, or less. A few Google searches. The other thing I want you to understand about pricing before I move into the possibility pricing here is understanding your program value. See, understanding your program value is where you control its worth. Meaning, this right here is whatever it is, right? It's $2. It's not. I think it's like almost $5 actually. And we can add things to it to make it more valuable. Now, if this was in the regular chapstick deal, and they try to charge us $5 for that regular, the little one that we get, that we've been accustomed to our whole life, and it was $5.36, we would be like, wow, no, we're not paying that. But if you saw this and it's in a nice little deal and it's in a different little container, you're like, okay, this might be worth something. So they changed the packaging to increase the value. And then we're willing to do what? Pay more. When at the end of the day, it's all lip stuff. And this just has a tint to it. Same chapstick with some type of color. Right? So understand your program value. That means that you control its worth, meaning you can add things that make it more valuable. Do you understand? You can add things to your program to make it more valuable, like worksheets or a live call if necessary, or recordings that you did that you put together, right? Or access to some other downloadable. Doesn't matter, but you can add more value to it. And that's how you come up with a value price. You see what I'm saying? Because those are tangible, those are actual items that have value. So you have your program here, and then you just added this, and this. And now you've got each of these have value. So now your program has what? Added value. Your program has added value. So now that your program has added value, you can now put the actual value of what they get when they get your program. This makes me so damn excited. It makes me so excited, and I hope you're excited too. So number 4 is understanding price, meaning what you are selling it for. So even though we know the value is what it is, right? And here's my little nifty Facebook. I use this as my makeup bag. I got it at Facebook. Facebook invited me to Facebook for my marketing abilities. They interviewed me, and I got a ton of swag. Shout out to Design Pickle. They're one of our partners as well inside of our core membership. Shout out to them. But what is the value, right? Facebook probably didn't hardly pay anything but maybe $1 or something for this bag. I love this woven bag. The makeup doesn't seep out. It's like the best thing. It's not a makeup bag. I think it's a pencil bag. Whichever the case, I paid that it had a value, but the price I paid was X. Just like when you buy something at retail and it may say MSRP, that is the actual value. And then there is typically the retail price. Same thing for your products. And remember, you control the value because you can add things to it. Is that powerful? I hope that that's powerful, because you can add things to it that have value. You don't have to fake value and sell people fluffy things. You can give actual value, right? So let's look at this possibility pricing chart here. So people may be saying, and you may be asking, but how much do I charge for my signature program? And let me say this, if it's your first time, and I really do mean this, I really do. It's really nice for people that have made it to say, oh, just, you should be charging $10,000. And I'm not saying you shouldn't, but what I am saying is you have to test your own process of launching, of getting this thing out there, of selling, of refining, of getting people to say yes, of building up your confidence by doing. So let's just go with these 3 pricing models that we have right here. We have a low, medium, and a high. And again, these are our possibility pricing. These are examples, but very well prices that you could charge. Because remember, your price is not predicated upon your newness or the fact that you may not be making money yet. And I know that a lot of times, many entrepreneurs that we work with within our Coach Speak and Serve community, they get hung up on, but I'm new, so I can't charge. I'm like, no, you're really not new. You started a new venture. There's a new Subway down the street, but they're charging for Subways. The day they opened, they were for sale. Nothing was free. So in here, I'm looking at 3 different tiers. We have a $199, a $499, a $999. And what I say on the $199 is an example could be a downloadable program with no access to you, audios with worksheet, and a support group on Facebook, for example. Right? Another example could be deliverable content, video, audio mix, worksheets, access to a group call, and a live call or not. Again, you simply decide. And you know what? If you like how it goes, you can keep it the same. And if you don't, you can do what? You can change it. You can refine your program. Listen, our core program gets better every single week. It gets better because we learn something, we get feedback, we're able to tweak here and do this. So you can refine as you're growing. And then the third one, we have same examples of the others, and then you may add some live elements to that $9.99. And someone may, in case anyone's wondering, can I do all of them? At some point, yes, but I really am the queen of do one thing. If you can't sell 3 things, if you can't sell one thing, you're not about to sell 3. So pick one thing and sell it. Be less worried about the money on the first launch and be more concerned that you get the process down and you get people to say yes, right? Even if you don't get as many people, it's less about that and more about you refining the process and getting everything together and it completed, right? And when I say completed, I don't necessarily mean you have to have your program completed before you sell it, because you really don't. And that's a whole nother training, because there are some ways that you can sell your program and have it start at a future date and then create it once you've sold it, right? You would do nothing pretty much differently. You still have to create it, but you would just sell it first, fill it up, and then create it. That's done all the time, right? All the time. And you may have been a part of some things where you're a part of live events. Live events are not done. You buy a ticket, they create the event, and then you show up and then you get it. Right? So I hope this pricing chart is helpful. And these are really good prices, right? So even if you started at $199 for, let's say it was 4 weeks and they got 4 things dripped to them and everything was automated, that's fantastic. It would be fantastic if it was $99 and it was flying off the shelf. If you were selling 2 of those a day, you probably would be happy. Like, yes, solidification. We're making $200 extra a day. This is fantastic. And imagine making 20, selling 20 of them. So you can really play with the pricing and be okay with not knowing and testing it and see. So you may be asking now, April, how do we get to 10K in 30 days? So let me go back, right? Let's go back for a minute. We started at brand clarity, knowing your avatar, understanding the process of creation and what you would be creating with the outline of your signature program, Then we went into the logistics. How is it going to be delivered? What's the frequency? What's the duration of the program? Now we're in pricing, okay? Now we're talking about how do we get to the 10K? And remember, the last step, I'm going to be teaching you the 13-point steps. So this is all real, okay? And I really do recommend that you go back and take it again, just so you don't miss anything. You know how you watch a movie twice and it's like, wow, I didn't even notice that. This, I guarantee you, would be the same way. So what if your program was $200? Then you need to sell 50 in a month. If it was 500, 20. If it was 1,000, 10. If it was 5,000, 2. I want to break these numbers down because it's less about these numbers and more about the creation and completion and about the numbers. Let's be real. Everybody here wants to make money in their business. Everyone here wants to make 10K in 30 days. And 10K is a very doable goal. It doesn't take a whole lot, as you can see, to make $10,000. You can get 20 people to spend $500 on a program, which was that middle grade in our example. That's pretty good. You can get 1,000, that's just 10 people. So the math really isn't hard. It's a matter of following the process. And when you put these into these numbers, it's like, it doesn't become so overwhelming. So let's look at something real quick. I'm gonna pull out my calculator. Most people want to make 6 figures, right? That's a go-to number, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's about $8,300 a month. So if we took $8,300 and we divided it by 200, that's 42, basically. You need 42 sales in 1 month. I want you to hear this. 42 sales in 1 month to make $100,000 a year. 42 sales. If I broke that down even further, right? So we took 8,300, which is what you do in a month, and you divided it by the 30 days. That would be, you need to make $277 a day. $277 a day. If we broke it down just a little further, you would need to make $138.33 before lunch, and then $138.33 before you go to bed. So the numbers seem big until you start to break them down and before you really have a product that can take you there. See, many people just don't have a product that can take them there. So they end up doing lots of activity, high activity, low results. High activity, lots of things going on, but no ka-chings, no PayPal deposits, no bank deposits, no stripes, right? None of that. So when you can slow down, build one thing and make that one thing your everything, then you can see the money more clearly. And then making it doesn't become so astronomical. Now there's things that you want to add to that, like how are you going to launch it? And we're going to talk about that in a minute. And so I want to move into this 13-point offer. So how do you make your core offer, right? This is your core offer. Your core offer is the signature coaching program that you're creating. And I call it the keys to the damn cookie jar, because most people just don't know how to sell, and they spend a lot of time wasting time, and they spend a lot of time giving and 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 giving, and then they get nothing at the end because they didn't hit the trigger points. And so let's cover the trigger points. This one slide is worth so much. We teach this inside of one of our trainings, and I'm excited to be able to share it with you. So your 13-point offer, please take a picture of this slide. So all of these elements, when you're making your offer, okay, when you're making your core offer, and I'm going to share with you, I know you've heard me mention core, our membership. I'm going to share it with you. There's almost 600 people inside of it, and I will share that with you, but I want you to get clear your core offer. On your slides that you create for your core offer, or in your video, or on the stage, or on your webinar, whatever it is you're doing where you're offering your signature coaching program or your book or your conference tickets, this really goes for anything. And that's what's so beautiful about this. This is just sales at this point. So number one, you want to ask for permission. You want to ask for permission. So when you come out of whatever talk you've given, whatever training you've given, you want to ask for permission to make the offer. You want to ask for permission to make the introduction. Okay? You understand? Number two, within your slides, within your talk, you want to identify and you want to share who this is for. Who is it for? So you want to say, so for example, if I'm talking about helping entrepreneurs, which is what we do, I would say this is for purpose-driven entrepreneurs. This is for people that are tired of being frustrated and moving in circles and running all over the place from this coach to that coach, from this downloadable to that downloadable and getting nowhere. This is for the person who is committed to taking their business to a different level within the next 30 days. This is for a person who is, and you get what I'm saying, fill in the blank. And then number three, on your slide, you would have who it's not for. And again, these will be 13 separate slides. And potentially it could be a couple more if you added in some other images and stuff, but at least 13. So number three, you'd say who this is not for. And you have to be honest. It's not for everybody, right? So using my example, this is not for people who want to do it on their own. This is not for people who have all the answers figured out. This is not for people who are not looking to invest in themselves. You understand? So you fill in the blanks for who this is not for your avatar. And then you want to value stack it, right? You want to add more value. You want to show people the value. And remember, I already showed you. It's this plus this plus this. You already got a good thing. You got a core thing over here. You got your signature coaching program. And then we added this plus this plus this. And we made it even better. Okay? And you want people to know what that value is. Number five, you want to sell on full value. That means you know. So for example, you know that if you had access to all the trainings that you needed to launch your signature coaching program, to put on and create your webinars, to grow your Facebook communities, right? To connect with other leaders, to sell, to speak on stages, you know that you'd pay over $10,000, $20,000 for that. Yes? So you get people to say yes on retail. So what is your retail number? Right? So let's say you're helping people with body transformation and the going rate is $5,000 and you can say you could easily charge $5,000. You know people charging $5,000 that aren't even as good as you. So you want people to affirm on retail. Okay, on the full price. Number six, CTA. It's our favorite. CTA means call to action. Many times when I watch you all, and when I say you, I mean entrepreneurs, when I watch you sell, there is no call to action, meaning you're not telling people what they need to do next, right? So if you're interested in joining our membership community, I want you to go to coreinsession.com, for example, right? That's our example. I'm running through this with our example. And then in parentheses, it says go see enrollment team to enroll. Now, if you are at a live event, or something like that, then you would send the people that are listening to you, your audience, you would say, go and see so-and-so, go and see Ann, go and see Mark, and they will be able to assist you at the back, front, side, outside of the room. So that call to action. You notice there's a number one by there. And let me tell you the psychology behind that. I'm excited about me drinking this Gatorade. Because I'm like allergic to liquids or something. So call to action, the number one people are the people who already knew that they wanted it. They did not need any extra bonuses or they didn't need anything. They knew when they got there that they're like, this is the bomb, I'm good. This is working for me. I love it. I'm so enlightened. Those are those individuals. Number seven, build up more value. Can you add more bonuses? Of course you can. Let's say there's a total of 3 you have. Give 2 with the first value stack and give another one here. Okay. Number 8, call to action what? Number 2. Now, why is that? Because the CTA number 2s needed something else. They needed that additional bonus to say yes. They needed more value. Do you understand how this works? They needed more value, and that's what you gave them. You gave them more value, and then they were able to say yes. Number 9, you want to make sure that you are showing grapes and strawberries or apples and oranges, whatever you want to call it, Mercedes and Pintos. They don't even make Pintos anymore. But you want to make sure that you're showing the comparisons of what you're offering. So for example, for us, in our core program, which I'm going to tell you about, our membership program, you can't go anywhere and find all of the types of trainings that we have to help you in the various ways as a coach, speaker, and an author for what we charge for it. Now, you can get all of those trainings, but you have to pay for them individually someplace else, right? So you want to show people the distinction between when they do something with you versus when they don't or do something somewhere else. And it's not even about anyone else. It's just the truth of the matter. Why is it the truth? Because you're creating it to be. We've created our membership to be exactly what it is, right? You are creating the competitive edge for your specific avatar, all right? Number 10, commit to self. Number 10 is where you ask your audience to commit to themselves, because people will make their investment about you, and your avatar's investment is not about you. Your avatar's investment is about them, their willingness, their commitment level, and or their fear of saying yes. So you want to make sure that you say, are you worth it? Do you believe that you are worth the investment so that you can gain whatever your beneficial points are? Clarity, monetization, X, Y, and Z. For us, that's what it would be for you. Number 11, choices. You want to show people that they have choices, right? That they have choices. And the choices are typically, you can take what you've learned today and go implement it and gain great results. Or you can work with us and gain greater results. And why is that a fact? It's because you created it that way, right? When you create, or as you're creating your signature coaching program, you're creating it so that when they buy your program, they get a better result than if they didn't. That's the whole point. Otherwise, they don't need you. You wouldn't need us. Okay. Number 12, scarcity. And in parentheses, I said real. So no fake, there's only 10 spots. No, make the scarcity real. And instead of doing like 10 spots, do something like the first 5 people that sign up get this. Maybe they get an additional discount or they get an additional bonus. And remember, we're down now to CTA number 3. The CTA number 3 people really needed the comparisons. They needed to be reaffirmed. They needed to understand their choices. They needed to understand that if they didn't act now, that they would lose out. Do you understand how this is going? And I hope that this excites you, because you've been a part of this process with many other people, I'm sure. With many other people, I'm sure, in the process of being a buyer, an investor, a consumer, someone who invests in themselves. Okay? This is good stuff. So I want to do a quick recap before I share with you our core membership, right? And if you think this is good and I'm teaching you, I didn't hold anything back. So if you have questions, please, you can come inside of Coach Speak and Write for Profits, hashtag 10K, ask your question, and I will answer. All right. So this is a quick recap. So make sure you join, like I said, Coach Speak and Write for Profits on Facebook. It's our Facebook group, and answer the questions, please. That's how we know that the people that are in the community really want to be there. So if you don't answer the question, then the invite will just sit there and eventually it will be deleted, and we don't want to do that. So the recap is, we went through your brand clarity, knowing your avatar. We went through the A20, the process, the logistics, the pricing, and your 13-point core offer. And now I want to take the opportunity, if I can, to share with you the core, our core membership. So I'm going to stop my screen share, and I'm going to come back to full screen. So why do I love this? I love 10K in 30 days, for one, because people need to demystify the entire elements of the whole brand situation. And so if you think that this was something, what we've created inside Core, which I'm about to show you in just a moment, is something truly phenomenal, and for only $27 a month. And I'm going to tell you exactly what that is. So all the trainings that you ever thought you would need, and the access to be able to get your questions answered, is what is included inside of our core membership. Okay. So inside of our core membership, we have truly created an opportunity for you to learn. And I'm going to show you the back end of Core. So as you can see, this is our back end of Kajabi, and this is typically what it would look like for you. But if you want to learn, for example, how to create a predictable income generating machine, we have, not only is he the former marketing director of Lead Pages, but he is the education director at Active Campaign. If you want to create your own 4-part sales funnel, then we will teach you. If you want the recipe for launching your online products, Entreport, our CRM, will teach you, and you don't have to have Entreport to use it. If you want to increase your sales with webinars and learn how to do webinars, then Casey Zeman, one of our power partners, who is the creator of Easy Webinar, will teach you. If you want to learn more about marketing and automation, our partners at Plus This will teach you. If you want to learn more about Facebook ads and messenger trainings, then we will teach you that. If you want to learn more about marketing and advertising and PR and LinkedIn and Instagram, then you can learn that through our Marketing for Profits Masterclass just right here. Literally tons of training within them. You want to learn about Instagram from Warren Carlisle, a community engagement growth specialist, then there it is. If you want to start a podcast, if you want to do your own book promotions, if you want to live stream, if you want to create virtual events, live events, sales, whatever it is that you want to do, if you want to do it, then it is inside Core. As it sits right now at this moment, there are 71 trainings available to you for what you need, including a getting started section to help you demystify the whole thing. So you can start where you start. For some of you, you'll jump in and you need to go over here, or you'll need to go over there. And the opportunity is there. You don't have to wait for anything to come. And not only do I teach, right? So I show up and I teach, but it's not even about me. It's about all of our power partners that are experts in their field, and they come in and they teach. And so every single couple of weeks, you get a new training from someone new to learn something new. And if it's applicable to you, great. And then every month, twice a month, you get to tune in live to Q&As that you can tune into, ask your questions on whatever's happening in your business right now. So you never have to be left not knowing. Because that's really the frustration that many of people feel, and that I felt when I first got started, was not knowing. And you already know who this is for. And this is for $27 a month, or you can pay $270 a year, and that saves you get 2 months free when you pay the yearly. And that's it for that amount. Once you join, you'll get an email that will ask you to join our course or peer group. All right. So our course or peer group, support peer group right here, there's 564 members in there. And this is where all the core students camp out. You'll go to coreinsession.com and you'll learn more about, it's connected to one of our lead pages, of course, because lead pages we are a fan of. And you'll see all the details about Core and how you can sign up. And you'll also get a chance to check out a few of the testimonials as well. So I encourage you to not run, but sprint all the way to coreinsession.com and grab your membership for $27 a month. And you're not obligated. If you get in there and you decide after a month that it's not for you, then you can cancel. And you can continue about your success path. And if you decide that you want to be in there, our average person has been in there for almost 2 years, our average attendees. So we're excited about our students that are learning, and we want you inside of Core. So if you thought that this training was fantastic training, there is absolutely more. For $27 every single month, you get to get coached by not only me, but our power partners and our friends. I am Epic April. I'm so glad that you joined me for 10K in 30 days, how to create and monetize your signature coaching program. And if you want more on the wraparound to how to launch it and do all of those other amazing things month over month, week over week, then I encourage you to join me inside of Core. Thank you so much for your time. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you inside. Bye for now.